Hey guys, we've got really an exciting show today. We have Cody Askins with Secure Agent Mentor, and Cody is the owner of the company, and their company does a lot of cool stuff. We have a ton of agents that use our solution for med sup, and final expense. So Cody's going to share some insight on some agent tips and techniques and things like that. So we're really excited about having Cody on. So Cody, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, how you got started in the industry.
You got it, buddy. Thank you, Gary. Appreciate you having me on. I'm a huge proponent of salesdollars.com, and I'm extremely proud to be here. So I got started in the business. I actually grew up in the business. My father's been doing this nearly 30 years, like 28 years, as old as I am, almost 28. And so I got started in the business at 19 with Mutual of Omaha as a career agent with them. And I was in college playing basketball. Started out only selling life, and some of the things that we'll talk about, some of the success tips that I learned at an early age really helped me earn a little over 117 grand at 19 in college playing basketball in about 8 months. And so just fell in love, became obsessed, and here we are.
Wow, that is cool. What a great story. So
Thanks,
you talked about you're going to share some of those tips. Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
What does a typical day look like for a successful insurance agent? What should he or she be doing?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'm a huge believer that, because everyone wants to know a system or, hey, what should I do to succeed? 92% of agents fail in their first 3 years. And the reason why, especially field agents, and way more agents are field agents than telesales agents. The reason they fail is they don't sit down and present and ask 10 people to buy every single week. It's not rocket science. It's not complicated. The tough part is, which Sales Dollars helps with this, is the prospecting part of this, actually getting in front of 10 people and sitting with 10 people every week. That's something I learned at an early age. And so I found creative ways, even at 19, with no sales experience, no insurance experience, playing basketball in the afternoon, playing basketball on the weekends, games at night, college in the mornings, to sit and ask 10 people to buy every single week. Once I was able to figure out ways to do that, that's when I figured out how to start making a couple grand or more a week. And then it's all about being consistent with that system.
Okay, so I know you guys have your own systems there. I know you have your own leads. You talked about getting in front of those 10 people. You didn't say how.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Okay, that's a great question. I would say it's, and it varies for a lot of people. But I think that, because a lot of captive agents, career agents that are just getting started, they get told, hey, write down 200 people you know, and then go call them, go visit with them, go take them food and show up at their work or their house or whatever. That's what we're normally taught to do. And I did a lot of that, and I learned the business. I got to present to my family, friends, and honestly, there's agents that shy away from protecting people they know. They don't want to screw it up. They don't want to ruin a relationship. We had an agent here in the office that didn't want to approach his brother because, you know what, my brother's going to get mad at me. You know what? If your brother passes away, your wife's going to be even more mad at you than your brother will ever be because you didn't approach it. And so I think that's something that everyone has to do early on. Even though they don't want to do it, it's sales. We're always going to be uncomfortable. It's always going to be fear. But if you do that, you can learn the business. You can get in front of people. You can grab what I like to call that low-hanging fruit. And so, but that's not going to last forever. Yeah, there's people that think, hey, you can ask for referrals. You continue to network. And you know what? You can continue to do those things. But the way I think agents succeed the best and the easiest, because this business is simple, but it's not easy. I heard that from a guy in Ohio recently. And so to do that, they need leads. They need a consistent flow of quality leads week in and week out. Normally it's 25, 30, 35, 40 leads every single week, depending on their area, depending on what they're selling. They've got to be able to invest in their business, figure out the numbers, and then make sure that whatever they're doing, they're setting 15 appointments, they're running 10, and they're selling at least 5. But at the end of the day, you got to have leads, you got to have prospects, you got to have people to talk to consistently, week in and week out, a system that works week in and week out to sit down with 10 people, because most agents don't sit down with 2 or 3 people, let alone 10.
Right. So that's what you teach your agents. Is it's 10 present. Now, what was that again? Is get
Yes.
quotes to 10 or contact 10?
Yes. Set 15. You're going to have a few that, no show, stand you up.
Sure.
Bankers life agents always call it porch you. I don't know. I thought that was kind of funny. Set 15. Sit and present and ask 10 people to buy, and you'll have at least 5 sales, because you'll have some double homes and everything else. No matter how bad you are, you'll sell 5.
It's a reoccurring theme on our show. And it's, we have a lot of realtors use our solution, but it always comes back to this. It's a numbers game. It always does. It's a numbers game.
100%.
Yeah. It's a reoccurring theme on every show we have. It's a numbers game. The more people you talk to, it just keeps going and going. So tell us, you go in there for Medicare. Who are you calling? Turning 65? You trying to save money on people's current plans? Tell us how that flow works.
Yeah. So back when I first started, after I got, I didn't sell Medicare or MedSups at all for a couple of years. I just trained myself to focus on niche. Chris Westfall always said, hey, riches are in the niches. And he's right, because I want to focus on something and be great at that. I want to stay in my lane and I want to perfect it. Well, then I got into where I was a career agent with Mutual, and I'm like, you know what? I'm starting over every day, every week, every month, every year. I may want to start to add some residual income. And so, and I wasn't independent. I wasn't a broker. So then I started getting into the Medicare supplement business. But I knew, hey, you still got to sit with 10 people. And so I did it. I mailed turning 65. I door knocked turning 65. I got leads for over age 65, which we're able to get leads for 65 plus here at Secure Agent Mentor for agents. And just to tell you how good these are, no lead's ever perfect. A lead's a lead.
Of course.
But our call center, Secure Telesales, which is in my office, is closing really close to 10% of every MedSup lead that we give them telephonically over the phone. Now, you're going to get the occasional one that's an Advantage plan. You're going to get the occasional one that, hey, I can save you $60, and they just don't care. They don't trust you. They don't listen. But the fact that we're able to close 10% over the phone of just total leads, not conversations, is pretty strong.
That's one of the beautiful things about our solution and insurance agents. We have some features like local presence, and you can do conference calls, you can record the calls for tele apps and all that stuff. So I can see why there's a big draw for that Medicare agent. The one thing is that it's a numbers game too. You just talked about it again. You don't really care about the guy who doesn't want to save $60 because you've got more leads you're closing. It's because of the numbers, right?
Exactly.
You don't get in a hissy fit about it because you have more coming.
Exactly. But you do if your pipeline isn't full enough. Like one of our agents, he actually manages the call center for me. His name's Dallas, and good dude. We've been friends forever. We do a local radio show together and all that. He had exactly that. The example I proposed, $60 a month, and to move from an F to a G. The plan differences are so small. It's almost the exact same coverage. It's phenomenal. $720 a year, $7,200 for the next 10 years of savings. And they just wouldn't listen. But the way I think it is, who's next? Move on to the next one. You know what? You can try, you can follow up, you can do the little manager callback and all that. There's some, you can mail, you can email, you can text, or you can follow up. But honestly, some will, some won't. Who's next?
Right. Yeah. I don't know. It sounds like you guys, a lot of agents, they try to build rapport over the phone. They try to make them laugh, try to get on common ground. It sounds like you guys are just trying to get through the numbers. I'm sure you do try to build rapport. Your agents are trained, but if you're talking about the numbers that you guys are going through, you really don't have time to get too much into a rapport because you've got all these turning 65s and 66s to 80s or whatever. There's just so many people to talk to.
Exactly. We go through a couple hundred MedSup leads a week. in the small Medicare division of our call center, with an opener and a closer, and then we've got some final expense sides to it. I believe in building rapport, building value, trust, especially in telesales, even in person. You know, that's something that I learned to be good at, is build a relationship, be enthusiastic, gain some trust. And I noticed that it's even more important with final expense than Med Sup. But what we want to do is we want to get control of because a lot of times what we notice is that the client doesn't want you to just warm them up and, you know, talk shop and, you know, talk history and all that for 15 minutes if they don't know who you are. So we want to let them know who we are, why we're calling, why we don't want to waste their time, and actually gain control of the call early and then build rapport throughout.
I see. So you want to build that rapport. You want to stay in control of the conversation. So tell us a little bit. I know where we're going with this. Can we go through a script?
Yeah, we can do it. Yeah.
Okay. So let's do it. Let's do a Medicare, or whatever you want, whatever type of script. Let's play it.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay. Yeah. Let me let me pull one up.
Your best script. What you got?
Okay. Let's do a. I'm probably most proud of. I'm probably most proud of my final expense when I have to say.
Let's do it.
You want to do appointment setting or telesales?
Telesales.
Okay.
Or sales dialers.
There you go. That's right. Let me. I got like 38 billion folders in my.
That's fine. Pull it out. We'll wait because this is going to be awesome stuff.
Yeah, good. Yeah, you know what? This will be valuable because this is something that I may not give I'll give a lot of it. I don't care, but it's something we sell telesales packages and scripts and all that in our shop at our site. But you know what? You ask, you shall receive. That's what I believe in. So you know what? I love that, seriously. And I've actually been working on a new one for all this year, really perfecting there it is. Okay. All right, it's coming up. So
no worries.
Yep. Okay, because with telesales, there's some shops that do, okay, we'll do openers, we'll do closers, or maybe the closer is the opener and they do their own call. And so it varies by where you're at, but the one we're going to work through is kind of an opener closer combo script. And so this one's for final expense because we've got more final expense telesales agents than Med Sup, just because I can get final expense leads easier. And so, so hello, good morning. Looking for Gary.
Yeah, this is Gary.
Hey, Gary, this is Cody from the Final Expense Department. Hey, Gary, you recently requested information online regarding the 2018 state-approved burial life programs that you may qualify for here in Missouri. Now, Gary, this program is actively seeking folks between the ages of 50 to 85 here in Missouri. Now, hey, to be sure I'm not wasting your time, buddy, do you qualify?
Well, I don't know.
Exactly, and that's the response we normally get because you want to be exclusive, you want to take it away, and if they're unsure, hey Gary, are you between the ages of 50 and 85?
That's me.
Do you live in the state of Missouri?
I do.
Okay, well that's a good start, buddy. And there's a few other qualifications that we will go over, and then obviously we know their age. Gary, I need to make you aware that these programs are available at all different price points, perfect for our clients who are on low to middle incomes. Is that you?
Yeah, my wife passed away. My kids are grown, and I don't make much money. I just work at Walmart.
Okay. Well, this is you, and I'm sorry about your wife. I appreciate you sharing that. Now, we're only able to assist those folks who handle their finances with a local bank. Now, I don't want to waste any of your time. I don't need any personal information yet. I just need a simple yes or no. Hey, you have a checking or savings account somewhere, right? Someplace.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So before we get started, I'm required to let you know that this call may be recorded for quality and training purposes. Now, let me tell you exactly who I am. I'm going to tell you more about these state-approved plans, if you can qualify for them, and how we will do that, okay?
Okay.
All right, so here at the Final Expense Department, I'm the state licensed field underwriter. I'm the person that will be able to help you decide what you qualify for. And so by doing that and by using the verbiage, number one, we're gaining control of the call. We're gaining trust, but we are in control. And then after we get through a lot of this beginning is where we'll shift into like rapport building and fact finding. So,
okay. Let's do it.
I can continue if you want me to. So
Absolutely.
all right, cool. This is good. This is good stuff because we sell. DJ, what do we sell our telesales package and script for? Like,
And everybody on our show today is getting it for free, thanks to Cody.
that's right, man. How crazy is that? That's awesome. Okay, just so you know, these 2018 state approved plans are here to cover burial, funeral expenses, etc. You know, helping with lost income, paying off debts, whatever you're most concerned about. Now, they do pay out really fast, normally within a few days to a week. And so, Gary, as our state licensed field underwriter, I will ask you a few basic questions that helps us decide what we can help you with to see what you qualify for, and hopefully you do, Gary. We probably, and you probably saw that we can help even if you've been turned down before. Have you ever been turned down before?
I don't think so. I've never done it before.
Okay, cool.
It's hard to be turned down if you've never done it before.
Exactly, Gary. Well, dude, we're doing it together, and we're having a lot of fun, and I appreciate you sharing and being open with me. These are affordable, permanent coverage, whole life options where the rates don't jump on you later in life. And it helps that these plans are state approved. So hopefully you can qualify. And if you do, we'll end up giving you more information and getting you out a welcome packet, probably through email if you have that. I'm sure you do. And so let's go ahead and kind of dive in and get to know you. So if you don't mind, can you grab a pen and paper for me real quick, and I'll hold, okay? Perfect. He's ready. I like it. I'm required to give you my state license number as well as my name. And so by doing this is where we gain trust. And so by doing this, Gary, it lets you know that, hey, these guys are legit. They're here in the state of Missouri. And it's okay to discuss all this information with us, all right?
Right. Okay.
Okay, perfect. So Cody Askins, 806-3186 here in Missouri. Yeah.
And now you asked them to write that down?
Yes.
You do?
Yep.
Cool. Okay. Because I just want to make sure I follow in the flow so everybody knows that
yeah.
Write it down.
Yeah. Cool. So what I would do, and the agent would state their name, their company name, phone number, state license, any information they want to give them. State license number and name and company is always really important. That's what they're most concerned with.
Okay. Cool.
And then I'll always explain, hey, that lets you know that I'm licensed by the state of Missouri to help you with your insurance needs, okay?
Okay, cool.
And Gary, we've helped a lot of other residents here in the state of Missouri. Have you used our services before?
No.
Okay, cool. And what, obviously, you know what that question does, but it gets them thinking that, hey, we're bigger than we may be, and that, hey, everybody's using it. So,
right.
So tell me, what got you thinking about all this recently?
Well, my wife passed away. I have kids. I don't want to make sure that if something happens to me, that burial expense doesn't fall on my children.
I completely understand that. You're a good guy for thinking that way, and taking care of your family is super important. So I commend you for thinking that direction, and I'm happy that we're going to be the ones to be able to help you today. That's awesome. Thank you. All right. So, and then we'll focus on warming up, getting to know them, talking to them. Thank you for sharing that. That's important. So now let's move into seeing what you qualify for. Okay. And so, Gary, these state approved burial life insurance plans, they're simple. There's no medical exam. I just have to ask you a few questions to see if you do qualify. And so I won't, we can skip over this for the sake of time because it's about 21 health questions.
Yeah.
But I'll go into tobacco, height and weight, date of birth, and a bunch of health questions. Our main carrier that we use is Liberty Bankers and Royal Neighbors, and so we kind of got a combo of their health questions that we use. So that kind of tells the agents who we use for telesales too. So, and a little AIG for guaranteed issue if we have to. But I know agents are going to ask, we don't accept credit cards, debit cards, direct express cards. The retention's horrible. We say next and we move on. So.
Okay.
So then we'll get into medications. Hey, Gary, do you take any prescription medications? Again, that's health. Thanks for answering that, sharing that with me. Now we need to know if you have any current burial plans, policies, or life insurance currently in place.
I have life insurance.
Okay. And who's that with, and how much do you have?
Fidelity.
Okay. Fidelity Life. Excellent. And how long have you had that with them?
It's probably 15 years.
Okay. Excellent. Do you
It's
know how much coverage you have?
It's a term. It's 500,000 term 20.
Gotcha. Very good. Excellent. So I'm assuming that's probably good for there to cover the mortgage or, cover lost income or some of those bigger needs and not just the burial needs, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Well, it's a 20-year policy. It's a return of premium.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you for sharing, buddy. Excellent. Okay. And for there, I've got notes along the script that I'm kind of reading as I'm going. But we want to gather as much information as we can. And you mentioned your family. You talked about your family. You talked about losing your wife. You talked about your kids. Who will your beneficiary be? Who do you want to leave this money to once we get you set up today?
Probably my son.
Okay, your son. And that's one of the things that you'll notice is everything I do, I want to be, not only do I want to be in control, but I want to be assuming that they're going to eventually take advantage of this right now. Everything we do, I want to assume. So all the way through.
Okay.
So this is where we'll go into explaining the company. This is where we'll go into explaining the company that you offer. So you'll tell them, hey, it looks like you may qualify for this company. I'm hoping you do. If you do, this will be your best option. And then you'll go into, hey, how long they've been in business, what's their AM Best Standard & Poor's rating, what's their financial backing look like, are they a part of the Better Business Bureau, how big are they, et cetera, et cetera. So all those things, that's the portion where we'll go into company. And then we'll go into explaining yourself, because you got them to share information about you. And I'm not one to talk. I'd rather listen in a script, especially when you have a normal prospect. There's a lot more of them talking to. Obviously, for sake of time, we're just role playing quickly.
Right.
But then you'll get into them explaining a little bit about yourself as the agent. So get personal, gain some trust, tell them where you're from, who you are, what you believe in. I don't care if they believe the same thing as you or not. That's not important. It's just that you're sharing you, so they'll know, hey, this is an authentic individual. They're transparent. They're real. How long you been in business? Tell them about your family. What do you do? What's your mission? What's your goals? Do you want to help millions of people in the state of Missouri? What's your why? Why you enjoy this business? What you got started in this business? So kind of sharing that will help to kind of lower their guard and to really build a lot of rapport together. So that's the part of the script that we'll do that. Then we'll get into the benefits presentation. And I would even like to go through this one real quick with you together, just because I feel like this is something that really, a lot of people ask the same questions as we do. There's tons of telesales scripts, everywhere. But the way I present and close may be a little unique, because I give 5 benefits. And so what I would say is, hey, Gary, now, Liberty Bankers, has some really neat features, which is why they're so popular. But my clients love these 5 main benefits, and I'd like to share them with you right now, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
Excellent. Now, you're going to love these, buddy. My clients rave about these, and this is these are the reasons why not only do they love us, but once they love the company and they fall in love with the benefits and the features, they really want to do business with us then. So the first benefit, and I'll have them write them down as they go. So also, Gary, if you can write these down as we go along, that way it'll be easy to remember and reference later. So the first benefit is a coverage lock, which, Gary, what this means is, unlike other policies that stop at age 60 or 70 or 80 or they're a term or they abruptly end, we don't want things to change as you get older. So ours has a coverage lock. So the policy is permanently locked in. It's a whole life. It'll last your whole life, and it cannot ever change. Now, is that important to you? Do you like that benefit?
Yeah, I don't want it to change. I don't want it to go up.
Exactly. And so you'll notice the little trial closes after each one. I want to gain agreement and have trial closes and get them to say yes.
I see. Yeah.
So yeah.
Get them saying
so then
yes.
The second benefit. Exactly. Yeah.
Go ahead.
So Gary, the second benefit is a price lock, which is that our clients, they love that. It's like it's almost the most important to them, except for the fact that they love me, is that unlike other policies that raise every year, every 5 years, or at age 70 or even age 80, ours don't do that. The price lock means that the price is permanently locked in, and it will never go up or increase at all ever in the future. Now, Gary, how awesome is that? Do you love that benefit?
Yeah, well, I got confused on the coverage and the price lock. I understand now because you went over both, but yeah, that's what I wanted. So cool. Yeah, I don't want it to go up. I don't want it to go up in 10 years.
Exactly. Yeah. So the coverage lock is to make sure that the coverage, the benefit, the $20,000, or whatever we purchase today never changes, and the price lock so that the rate you're paying never goes up.
Right.
So,
Cool.
all right, Gary. So the third benefit is double for accident. And so this is something that we can add should you choose it. It's important. It's a couple extra dollars. A lot of my clients like it. That's where you can start to upsell them and make sure that, I think it's important anyway. But Gary, this means that the policy would double in the event of an accident, which is really cool because if you own $20,000 and you pass away due to an accident, it would pay out $40,000 in the event that it happens. So that's pretty cool too, right?
Yeah. I mean, I guess. How much is it more?
It would double. So if we're able to help you with say $25,000 of coverage, you would have, and you pass away due to an accident. I love the mug, by the way. It would be $50,000 of coverage. Coffees for closers. I love that. That's awesome, buddy.
That sounds good to me.
Gary Glenn. Perfect. Excellent, buddy. Thank you. And the fourth benefit, Gary, if you want to keep writing these down too, is that it builds cash value. And what that means is that it grows cash inside of the policy as you're paying your premiums. And our clients appreciate that and like that because it's kind of like a savings account within their policy that if they need to take a loan out of their policy, say 5 years from now, they could. Now, we don't recommend they do, but it's pretty nice to have that flexibility and the fact that it comes with it as a bonus. Am I right? I mean, is that important to you?
Yeah, I mean, that would be cool to give you some peace of mind in case something happens, right?
Exactly. Yes, sir. Completely. And Gary, the fifth benefit, which I'm a little biased, but I think having a local licensed company and local licensed agent here in the same state as you is uber important. And I'm going to tell you why, Gary. It's probably the most important to our clients because rather than having to buy insurance from someone, through the mail, through the TV, in another state, overseas, whatever, because a lot of times when that happens, you've got to actually go. And if you want to make minor changes, you've got to call a 1-800 number. You got to wait on hold for 40 minutes. You got to press 1 and 2 17 times. And then it's just annoying. It's a nuisance. So rather than our clients doing that, they simply call our office number or my cell phone number. And because I make sure I give that to them. If we want to build a relationship, that's a good way to do it. And so that way, if you have anything you want to change, I'm talking address, phone number, beneficiary, bank account, anything like that. If you ever want to change anything, you call it and we handle it and we alleviate that huge burden. And so, Gary, even more important than needing to make minor changes, though, in the event that you're no longer with us, okay, and we've got to leave this, and you're leaving this to your son, this policy as your beneficiary. And so what happens is rather than him having to go through that same rigmarole of, calling an insurance company, waiting on hold, calling a 1-800 number, 40 minutes, and having to get claim paperwork, signed and notarized and get the death certificate mailed off and paperwork back and forth with the company. And, that can be a lot of work, especially when your son has a lot going on as it is because you're not there and he's got to handle everything now. So rather than that being one extra burden for him to handle, again, what would he do? He would call our local office or my local cell phone number that you're going to have, and we handle that, and we assist in that process. Now, is that important or is that important?
Yeah, I mean, I could see why that's value. I don't want to, want him to go through so much rigmarole. So yeah, that's value.
Good. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, I may be a little biased because I'm the local agent's going to be helping, but I'm telling you what, when that happens to a family, I love being able to assist that family, deliver a check, and actually help in that. I mean, it's huge. It makes me. That's why I do what I do. What I do, Gary, and I love it. It really is. It's great to be able to do that in the desperate time of need. So now, out of these 5 benefits, Gary, which one would you say is your favorite?
Premium not going up.
Price lock.
Yep.
Cool. Excellent. Thank you. And I'm gonna comment on that part real quick too, because a lot of times they'll say, sometimes they'll say, hey, all of it's important. If they say that and they say all of it's important, they haven't really made a decision. And so when I ask questions, whether I'm in person or over the phone, when I ask questions, I'm going to, if I don't get the answer I want, I'm going to continue to ask that question until I get an answer. And so, but I can't just say, which one's your favorite? I've got to say, well, okay, Gary, and then you got to ask in a different way. So, hey, Gary, if you had to choose, would you say, you mentioned the price lock, you mentioned the, double accident. If you had to choose, which one would you say, hey, I really probably prefer that one. And for you, it was the price lock. But there's other ways to continue to ask questions to get the answers we want. So
cool. So what's the close? What's the closing line?
Exactly. So, awesome, Gary. So I'm going over these options. It looks like you do qualify. And so I'd like to go ahead and say congratulations. So congratulations to you. It looks like you may be eligible to qualify for one of our top tier plans. This is really awesome. So again, congratulations. We're super excited. It looks like you've also qualified for all those extra benefits that we talked about, which is amazing because I know you love the price lock, and that's also included. So once again, I'm going to give you 3 affordable options. They'll come with everything we discussed. You'll get me, you'll get all the benefits, you'll get the price lock, and it'll be a blast. And so then what you do is I want to give 3 options. I want to have them write them down with me. I want to give them in descending order, because what happens is the psychology is if I give them in ascending order, they're thinking about the first thing I gave them. If I give them the best option first or the biggest option first, they're thinking about that one. If we give the smallest option first and moving up, they'll feel like you're trying to take away the small one. So I do it in descending order, give them 3 options. And so Gary, the first option is that you qualify for is $20,000, and it's only $112 per month. You got that?
I do.
Okay. And the second option, Gary, that comes with everything also is $15,000, and it's $78 per month. You got that one, Gary?
Yep.
Okay. And the third option, Gary, is $10,000, and it is only $59 per month. Did you get that one?
Yep.
Okay. Now, which of these options would you like your son to receive?
Probably the middle one.
Okay. So the 15,000 is 78 a month. Perfect. Excellent. And so, Gary, what's your full legal name?
Gary R. Prado.
So then you assume they made a decision and you move into filling out the application.
I see. Cool. Well, that's good stuff.
Keep it simple. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that.
Right.
And so what's funny, the psychology is you're probably going to choose the one in the middle more times than not, like you did.
Why is that, man?
Human nature. Well, you don't want it. Nobody wants to feel like they're over purchasing, but no one wants to feel like they're under purchasing. Like if the value and the rapport are there and they feel like, you know what, because it feels like you're recommending the one in the middle because that's the one that's sandwiched between the other options. So
I wonder if you could do it this way, or if you've ever done it, but if you put the highest number, say in this example it was 112, 78, and 59. Let's just say you put the 112 and then you do a higher one of 158, 112, and then say 78. So you have 3 numbers, 158, 112, 78. I'll bet people would pick the 112 just because it's in the middle.
Sometimes they would. You're exactly right. Yep.
That's crazy.
And there's still a science to which options you give them to, because most agents think too small. And I used to make a mistake, and I'll admit it live on camera, in that I used to ask them, I used to be a big proponent of what can you afford to spend? Well, no one's ever going to know, and no one's ever going to tell you what they can really afford. That's super rare. So when I asked that question, I got a lot of $20 and $30 responses, and I sold an average about $40 a month for final expense. We sell an average of $60 a month now because we propose bigger options in those orders.
Right. Because people are going to buy what you propose and what you present. If you do low, they're going to pick the low order. I mean, they're the low ones. If you've got, I mean, that makes great sense. That's a great tidbit right there. Get those quotes and get them, go for the higher quotes and the higher coverages and give them options with those, and they're going to probably pick somewhere in the middle. You can almost, it sounds like you can almost manipulate this and drive this. It's like psychology, where they're going to do whatever you guide them to.
Exactly. Especially, that's why we believe in being in control early on in the call.
Yeah. That's great stuff. So that's great for final expense. So let's just touch on Medicare, because I'm going to come back to final expense. When you hit the Medicare market, you're calling the T65s, you're calling other groups, you're trying to sell MedSup, you're calling 67s to whatever ages. What is your biggest cross sell, and how do you cross sell?
Yes. So how I used to cross-sell in person was I used to use this money bag presentation. So what I would do is I would draw a money bag and I would say, hey, and this was my way to fact find when I sold MedSups in person. And it worked really well because I would draw a money bag and I would say, hey, there's 4, my clients love this, kind of similar. Is it okay if I share you something that will make sure that no matter what, we don't take it, there's nothing taking money out of your money bag, which I know you want to keep your money, right? So then I would go through a money bag presentation. I would draw a money bag, write some dollar signs on it, and I would say, okay, and I would draw 4 lines. And I would say there's 4 things that seniors are worried about going through retirement that's going to take money out of their money bag. And you can change this up however you want, but I would do health insurance, legacy planning, long-term care, and I would do them one at a time and explain each one. And I would do like, nursing care and return on investments. And so then I would go over each one and get them to so like for the so I would say, hey, we took care of the health insurance, or we're about to take care of the health insurance. If I did it at the beginning of the call, the next option is that really can take money out of your money bag is you don't have the proper legacy planning to leave all this money to your family. So do you have any life insurance? What's your plans for final expenses? Do we need to replace any income? Like, how do you plan on passing this stuff on? So by asking that, then they would answer questions and give you information about those 4 areas. And so I sold a lot of those I sold like 8 long-term care policies in 1 week, back at like 21 years old. Now, half of them got declined because that was a long-term care business back then. But
So what are the questions that you ask? It's fact finding, but what are the questions you ask? You said, do you have life insurance? Let's go through those questions real quick.
Okay, yeah. So and this is just you can do it over the phone too, but
sure.
I did on every call in person, and there's a lot of agents that they're so hyper focused, and I get this way too. They just sell the med stuff, or they just sell the life, or they just sell, well, especially with Medicare, I think it's more important to fact find when you're selling Medicare than anything else. And so I would actually I would go through it. I would say, okay, health insurance is a big concern. Now we're talking about taking care of that concern today. So I'll go ahead and put an X through that one because we're going to take care of that today, right? And so then I would go to the next one. Okay, so legacy planning. So legacy planning is important because you don't want to pass on debt or a mortgage or burial expenses or funeral expenses or all that to your family. So what have you done to properly prepare for passing all that on, to cover those expenses, to pay off the house? Is there stuff that you've thought through and already planned and put in place?
Okay. So those are the 2 questions. Those are 2 questions. Any other questions that you find that you can use to cross-sell other products like, MedSup or anything else? Any other fact-finding questions?
Right. So if I'm I've heard a big annuity when I've never been a huge annuity. We got some agents that sell annuities and stuff. I've never been a huge annuity producer. I've always kind of stayed in my lanes per se. But I know that a lot of the things that they ask is, hey, are you satisfied with the return that you're already getting on your investments? It's a short, simple lead-in to get them to talk. And if you can get people, like if you ask a short question and you shut up, most of the time they'll tell you what you want to.
Right. For sure. So we've covered some final expense. Excuse me, I've got a little bug here. So we've covered some final expense, Medicare, MedSup, and we've gone through scripts. What's the number one objection? So the biggest objection that you guys get, either whether it's final expense or MedSup, what's that big objection and how do you overcome it?
Yeah, I would say the biggest objection for us, especially telesales wise, is, hey, let me think about it. I'm not ready to make a decision right now.
Okay, so I'm waiting. I want to hear it.
Okay, so what I did, I'm going to talk about how I used to do it in person, and then also talk about how I do it now over the phone. I was in a home with an agent back probably 3 or 4 years ago, and we proposed saving this lady some money, giving her more coverage. It was going to end up being like a little over $300 per month for a whole life insurance policy, final expense policy, over $300 a month. And so we proposed. I asked her to make a decision, like I do, my benefits presentation, my 3 options, which one are you most comfortable with, or which one do you want to leave to your family? And she said, you know what? I don't know. It's such a big decision. I need to think about it. And so what I do, I've got a veteran agent with me. And so I jump in and say, hey, you know what? I was running the appointment anyway. I said, you know what? We have an in-office policy that we don't do callbacks. And the reason is people think about it, they never do anything, and then their family blames us later when they didn't make a decision. You have everything you need to make an informed, educated decision today. Why don't you just take it? And she's like, you know what? Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's what I need. I mean, I guess if you can't come back, I guess I have to take it, right? And she did. So.
Wow. That's kind of, that's, you're taking that gamble, aren't you? And throwing it out and hoping, right? I mean, it could go a couple different ways.
Exactly.
I love it though.
And I'll take a gamble every time because I would rather a 50-50 or a buck. I get yeses way more than 50% when they want to think about it, but I would rather a 50-50 chance by being aggressive and by just laying on the line than the chance of maybe talking to them later or maybe getting back in front of them later, because we all know what's behind that. So.
Right, because you're talking to them now. There's no better time than right now because you have them in front of you. Why take a chance on setting another appointment, getting them on the phone? Why not, while you're there, do that and take that chance, because that's probably your best option.
Yeah, 100%. It is. Statistically, it's your best option. It trains you to get people, like everyone's got a gift. My gift has always been I get people to make decisions when I want them to make decisions.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so I wanted to talk about, I end every show with this question, and this is our last question of the day.
Okay.
So what is the number one thing that if you would have known when you started out in the industry that you wish you would have known that would have been a game changer that a new agent can take and apply and turn around his business or be successful in his business? If you can do one thing, and some guys have said, I need 2 or whatever, but if you can do one thing, what is that one thing that you suggest an agent do based on your knowledge?
Yeah, and I'm glad you asked this, because when you first started asking, I'm like, I don't know what it is, but I know now for sure, because we've got like 700 plus videos on our Secure Agent Mentor YouTube channel. And we've been doing a lot of video series lately on getting agents and salespeople to think bigger. If there's anything that held me back, I mean, I thought big at 19, I did well, 6 figures, all that. I thought too small. Even last year, 2 years ago, I thought too small. And so what I do is I write down my goals. I set some this year goals. I set some 5-year goals, and I set some long-term goals. And I write them down every morning and every night. And so my goals are, I want to get Secure Agent Mentor to $100,000 a week by the end of this year, 2018. I want to own a jet by the time I'm 30, and I want to help every insurance agent in the world at some point in the future. And those may seem crazy, but they get me thinking big. They get my mindset. I go to bed with the right mindset, and I wake up with the right mindset. So when I go through my day, I'm freaking jacked, I'm enthused, and I'm focused on achieving my goals.
That's awesome. So I think everybody else has talked about other things like getting a system, but you're one of the first people that have said goals and think about those goals, obsess about those goals, write them down, go to sleep thinking about those goals, and it's really just a mindset is what you're talking about, right?
It is, and everything I do throughout the day, does it align with my goals? And so if there's anything that I've learned is that what's funny is literally I did a video the end of probably July of last year, and I was doing a video about the goals that I had the beginning of 2017. And I laughed out loud when I reviewed my goals. And I thought, dude, I was a chump. Why was I thinking so small? I'm thinking it again about the goals that I set for the beginning of this year. So my goals always grow. And I review my goal book to make sure that I'm always, like, we just hit one of our goals, so we raised it again. Even if we hit it for a week, it means that we attained it. It doesn't mean that, hey, we need to hit it for a week and be stable for a year. We can all think way bigger. And I promise you, whatever you're thinking right now, it's too freaking small, and we're all capable of so much more. It's unreal.
Man, that is great stuff. You know, we've really enjoyed having you on the show today, and great objection handling, great script, and I love the goals. You're the first person that's talked about it. I love it, love it, love it. Is it okay if we have you on in the future?
Absolutely, Gary. Dude, anytime you ask, I will be on. A huge thanks to your audience for listening, and a huge thanks to salesdollars.com and Gary Pareto for being on, being a gracious host, and doing an awesome, awesome job.
All right, last thing. Tell us how people can reach out to you guys.
You got it. So the easiest way is secureagentmentor.com, or you can check out our Facebook, Secure Agent Mentor, our YouTube channel, Secure Agent Mentor, our phone number, 833-40-AGENT. 833-40-AGENT, simple phone number. And you can find me anywhere as Cody Askins. And I would love to help any agent that's struggling, they don't know what to do. I believe I can take anyone from struggling and failing to thinking bigger and investing in their business and turn them into a success.
Awesome. Cody, thanks for being on the show today, brother. Thank you so much.
You got it. Thank you, Gary. Awesome job. Appreciate salesdollars.com. Thank you so much.